In this week's episode, we're talking about the brand new original series from Disney Television Animation, Monsters at Work. Disney and Pixar's Luca, the short film from Walt Disney Animation Studios' Us Again, and much more. I'm Jenny.
I'm Andre, and this is What's Up Disney Plus, where we talk all things Disney Plus. Calling all jokesters to the laugh floor, let's meet the monsters in Monsters at Work from Disney Television Animation. Brought to you by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you can save.
Monsters at Work follows Tyler Tuskman, a recent graduate from Monsters University who lands his dream job as a scarer at Monsters, Inc. Only problem? Monsters, Inc. no longer wants scarers. They want jokesters. Until Tyler can learn this new skill set, he is reassigned to the Monsters, Inc. facilities team alongside a band of other misfits.
Now we present to you the cast of Monsters at Work. First up, Tyler Tuskman, class valedictorian of Monsters University. He's recently been reassigned to MIFT, and even though he's still learning the ropes, you might want to keep him far away from breakables. He's kind of a klutz.
Next, we have Val Little, Tyler's new co-worker and old classmate, there to help Tyler become the #1 jokester. Val is the free-spirited, enthusiastic heart and soul of MIFT.
Catherine Stearns, aka Cutter, is MIFT's blunt employee who tells it like it is and loves nothing more than doing her work and following the rules.
The self-proclaimed deputy supervisor of MIFT is none other than Duncan P. Anderson. Ambitious, organized, and excellent at coming up with a new title for himself on a weekly basis. Duncan is after one thing only, the head position of MIFT. Above all else, he is the loving pet owner to a very loyal and very aggressive support animal, Roto. But don't get too close, he bites.
Now let's talk about the head of MIFT. Fritz is the #1 advocate for MIFT and considers the division one happy family, assuming the role of its caring father figure boss man. And Roz.
They just delivered the new kid's hat and ID.
Wait, that's not Roz. That's her sister, Rose. Monsters, Inc.'s new keymaster and administrator. Beware of her pungent odor, unsettling laughter, and her reputation for not being as bubbly as her sister. Imagine that.
There you have it, the wacky cast of characters in Monsters at Work.
And now here's what's new. The first ever Disney Plus This Is Me Pride Celebration Spectacular aired right here on the Disney Plus YouTube this past Sunday. Hosted by Nina West and featuring musical performances by Alex Newell, Frankie Rodriguez and Joe Serafini, Haley Kiyoko, Todrick Hall, and more. Be sure to check it out.
The pet he didn't want might be the partner he needs. Turner and Hooch, an original series, starts streaming July 21st.
Tiny Troublemakers, Huge Adventures. Chip 'n Dale Park Life, an original series, starts streaming July 28th.
Every truth behind these iconic women has the power to inspire. All episodes of Turning the Tables with Robin Roberts, an original series, start streaming July 28th.
And this is exciting. The Beatles Get Back, a 3-part Disney Plus original documentary series, streaming November 25th, 26th, and 27th.
We've arrived in Porto Rosso, a beautiful seaside town on the Italian Riviera, to bring you Disney and Pixar's Luca. Luca is a coming-of-age story of a young boy who experiences an unforgettable summer filled with gelato, pasta, and endless scooter rides.
Luca shares these adventures with his newfound best friend, but all their fun is threatened by one deeply held secret. They are sea monsters from another world just below the water's surface.
Now let's hear from the cast and crew of Luca.
Hey, we're the cast of Disney Pixar's Luca, and today we're going to run a trivia triathlon. Let's pass the baton.
Okay, what kind of fish are Marlin and Nemo in Pixar's Finding Nemo? Are they clownfish, goldfish, or blue tangfish? They're clownfish. Which of these characters from The Incredibles is able to run on water? Dash, Mr. Incredible, or Violet? That's Dash, because his power is super speed. Pass the baton.
Oh my gosh, it's all warm.
In the movie Inside Out, what vegetable does Riley think is yucky?
Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, peas.
I'm going to say broccoli.
What is the first thing 22 eats when they're in Joe's body?
A lollipop, pepperoni pizza, a salad. Pepperoni pizza. Pass the baton!
Here you go.
In Inside Out, which character abandons Riley's rocket to make it fly higher and escape the memory dump? Bing Bong, joy, or sadness? Bing Bong. Bing Bong jumps out of it, and then since it's lighter, he kind of fly up on the cliff. What do Sully and Mike ride to rescue Boo and escape from Randall in Pixar's Monsters, Inc.? A forklift, a door, or another monster? I think it's a door.
So Pixar's Luca revolves around the summer friendship of Luca, Alberto, and Julia.
Luca is a very unique story about a sea monster who is very timid at the beginning, and he wants to go adventure out into the human world.
Luca has this perpetual curiosity about what is above the surface, which is beautiful. It embodies youth. It embodies, curiosity.
It's a fish out of water story, but it's about friendship and what we learn from friends.
I hope that audiences will be able to watch this movie and, I hope it reminds them of when they were younger and, their kind of childhood experiences and the adventures they went on during summer with their friends.
It has so many incredible messages behind it, like never judge a book by its cover, accept yourself, accept others, and I hope the audiences learn to silenzio Bruno.
Quieting that inner critic and kind of boldly finding out what your passions are.
Because if you silence that voice, you'll be able to have so many fun adventures and learn so many new things, and that's really what Pixar's Luca is all about.
Be sure to check out Disney and Pixar's Luca, now streaming on Disney+. Us Again is a brand new short film from Walt Disney Animation Studios, where an older man and his young at heart wife rekindle their youthful passion for life and each other on one magical night. The best part is, it's told entirely without dialogue and set to an original funk and soul musical score reminiscent of the mid-60s.
Now we get to hear from Zach Parrish, writer and director of Us Again. Take a look.
Hi everybody, my name is Zach Parrish and I am the writer and director of Us Again. My favorite behind the scenes moment of making Us Again was when I got this email from Keone and Mari, our choreographers, and they sent over the final dance for the film when Art and Dot are old again, where Art has learned his lesson and they are reconnecting. And I just remember watching them dance in their studio and then bawling my eyes out, just weeping, because it was that moment where it was proof that it was going to work. With this particular film, it was so hard to know if anything was working because you needed all of the pieces before any piece felt right. And you needed the music in order to be able to do the dance, you needed the story in order to do the music. And so this was that moment where we saw the storyboards kind of picture in picture, we had the music, we had the dance, and you felt the incredible loving connection between these two characters. You felt the joy of the film, and when it cut to black for the credits, my arms went up and my eyes got wet, and it was just proof that all of this work that we were doing, the team behind these characters, the team behind these environments, the team behind the animation and the effects and everything that we were building towards, it was all going to work. And so the collaboration between Pinar Toprak, our composer, Keone and Mari, our dancers, and all of our crew was really going to work, and it was really going to be something special. It meant so much to me that we had something. I will always remember that moment from Us Again, which is now streaming on Disney+. So please, please, please go watch it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it.
We've toured the MIFT offices of Monsters at Work, sailed to the Italian Riviera for Disney and Pixar's Luca, and made our final stop in the musical streets with Us Again. I think our tour de summer vacation has come to an end.
Be sure to head on over to Disney Plus to stream all of your favorites, and we'll see you next week.
You do it now. Just say the thing.
What's wrong with you, stupido?